Listen here, I can't go another year. No, I can't be up in here complaining. Gotta let them know I'm famous in my heart. Listen here, I'm here for the world to hear. And I'ma make sure they know what my name is. I just wanna end up famous in
I'm so
their
serious.
heart.
Probably why they be so damn curious. They furious. Easy got these ladies on some silly shit. Now what the dilly is, I'm going all out. Hey, I'm the talk of the town while y'all just saw a mouth. Here's a story about my quest to be rich. I'm like Beyonce and Kelly on some Destiny shit. Mr. 6 Mile, look me up, I'm some with a dream. Got my city like an addict, guess it's some with a fiend. For my team, anything less is uncivilized. Surprise, I'm seeing this world through clear eyes. And haters only made me more inspired to bless. On the clock right now, what the hell is the next? Like that feeling in your chest when you're ready.
And what's up, though, everybody? Did y'all miss me? Had to take a little hiatus for a week just to get it all together. But we back with another episode of the Jackson Report.
Good to be back, DeWitt. Good
Oh,
to be
yeah.
back.
What's going on, Chuck? It's been a minute. It's been a minute. And as I wish we could just pan the camera all the way around everything, because there's been a lot of major upgrades since I was last here. And this is what's up. Like, False TV, False Media, they always doing something. So they done upgraded the studio for me. And today, for my 46th episode, I got to speak on something because I was in Dallas a couple weeks ago. And a friend of my cousin said something, and it stuck with me because I never looked at it from that point of view when he was talking about marriage. And he was like, you know what? You had a perfect relationship. You and your girl could be getting along. Y'all could argue back and forth, make up, break up, make up again. But the minute you put that paperwork into play or get the courts involved, now the whole dynamic of y'all relationship changes. Now it's almost like, from what I was gathering, listening to the brother talk, it's like y'all both walking on eggshells because it's like, oh, if I piss her off too much or she pissed me off too much, and it's like, you know what, fuck this, I'm done with it. Then you lose money. You gotta pay. It's crazy because you paying to make this union, and then you gotta pay to end it too. So it's like it seemed like a money grab to me, or am I the only one that feel like that? It just all seemed like a money grab, and it changed my perspective a little bit because it made me feel like maybe I just want to meet that perfect girl and live in sin. So they used to say back in the day, when you don't make an honest woman out of her. So that whole terminology even gets me too. Like, make an honest woman out of her. How? Like, so walking down this aisle and saying I do till death do you part makes a person honest, when most marriages end off infidelity. Like,
Yeah, I definitely have my doubts about the effectiveness of marriage as well.
really?
My parents got divorced when I was 12.
Ooh.
And growing up before that, I had a bunch of friends with divorced parents, and I was always like, oh, that'll never be me. And then
So-
it happened to me, and I feel like most of my friends have divorced parents at this point.
Yeah. So your feeling towards marriage is like,
Yeah, I think it's almost a coin flip whether it's going to last or not. And I think the statistics actually back that up. I'm going to check real quick.
yeah, because I was about to say, let's pull that up because I would love to know, because I took a survey myself today. And talking with a lot of people at my job, I was asking them how they felt about it. And I got a lot of mixed reviews. And then they asked me how I felt. And I said, I'm only going to do it once. We not getting a divorce. Like, it's till death do us part. So we really got to make it till that death does do us apart. Like,
Wow. So check this out. According to ogbornlaw.com, first marriages 42 to 45% end with divorce.
see.
And it just gets worse as it goes on.
Oh, wow. So by the time you 3 in, it's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna test drive you for a couple years. Like,
Pretty
nope,
much.
don't want you. See,
It actually has some other interesting statistics too. 22% of women become divorced at least one time,
wow.
and 21% of men.
And you know what's crazy about that, Chuck? I've literally recently had a female tell me that it's a red flag that I've never been married before. So that kind of adds to your statistic. Like women feel more comfortable meeting a man that's been divorced
Yeah.
and not realizing that if I've been divorced once and me and you cross that threshold, chances are the chances of me divorcing you is higher than when I divorced the first one. That's crazy. So
Yeah.
now that's like about to even help me with dating. So when I hear that chick like, oh yeah, I've been married twice, it's like, I'll be damned. I'm not finna mess with you because it's a 73% chance you gonna divorce my black ass if we get together.
That's actually a slightly concerning statistic because my mom is actually getting remarried in 10 days. 10 days.
Hey,
Yeah.
look, hey, wow, hey, look, hey, listen. I pray, you know what? Statistics are made to be broken. I mean, you know what I mean? Statistics are made to change. Like,
But
'cause-
I think another thing that makes me think of is my dad is not getting remarried. So I think he's the smarter one of the two.
yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
yeah, Mr. Hibbler, hey, he might be on to something. Like, it didn't pan out the first time. I'm not even gonna shoot that dice no more. I'm not even finna aim that way. And it only makes sense because the majority of women that you meet, if they've been married more than once, at this point, they be on the I ain't with the bullshit, I ain't with this, I ain't with that. You can do one thing wrong on a date, like chew your food the wrong way, and you will get ghosted. Like they'll never call you no more. So maybe, just maybe, they on to something. Like when I hear somebody say they've been married 4 and 5 times, I automatically be thinking like, well, damn, like you didn't get it right the first 4 times. So if you on the 5th marriage, at this point, you just playing with people. I mean, it's like I heard a comedian say, by the time you on your 3rd and 4th marriage, you just looking for somebody to die with. Like you just want somebody to be there with you when you kill over. It's crazy to me because it only makes sense. You can have a perfect relationship, but it seems like the minute you allow the courts to get involved, it's almost like leverage for one or the other. Like the man gonna use it if he get pissed off, and the woman, and then it's just like the conversation I was having with the producer before the show. Alimony, like that has to be one of the dumbest things ever. Because let's say,
Yeah, I'm actually not too familiar. I'm familiar with the term, but what exactly does alimony mean?
alimony is like, okay, say for instance, you marry a woman, right? And dang, it's hard to use you as an example, but okay, hypothetically, like you marry a woman and you from like the east side of Austin before it upgraded and changed over. She's from Westlake Hills, got the big house. She moved you out to Westlake, got the big house. She got you driving nicer cars. You used to a certain lifestyle. Now, when y'all get divorced and she say, oh yeah, back to the east side you go, Riverside community. Alimony means basically like, oh nah, you done got me used to a certain lifestyle. So now you have to make sure I can still live that certain lifestyle.
Oh, okay.
So now they gonna hit her like, oh, so you make $40,000 a month? Well, he's entitled to 20,000 of that, or maybe 15 because you're a man, because you've upgraded his standard of living. You can't change that.
But and that's on top of splitting the wealth 50-50, which usually happens, right?
Exactly. So imagine a person like Bill Gates, for example, and his divorce. His wife not only got a hell of a settlement, but also now her lawyer can turn back around and be like, okay, that still wasn't enough. She's used to a certain lifestyle per month. And it's like, oh, and now you have to pay her $400,000 a month alimony because you have to keep her at the same standard of living.
So guys, or well, not always, but whoever makes more money or whoever makes the money in a relationship, assuming only one person does, they lose half the money they earn. And then on top of that, they have a monthly bill they have to pay.
Exactly.
Wow.
If you got like, if you that savage, which a lot of these women, which a lot of women are, like you got some marriages where the woman specifically married just for that cause
Yeah.
because she knows in the end, oh, don't worry. And they'll deal with, and see, here's the thing I've learned, like over the years and just observing and paying attention. Paper trails mean the world. If you start a paper trail in the midst of anything you doing, then you have actual facts. So what a woman to do is, let's say you one of those dudes that's verbally abusive. You got some women that'll record every time you have an episode towards her. And then let's say she didn't have to call the police on many occasions. She keeping the police reports, So finally, y'all go y'all separate ways in the marriage. Now in the court, she got all of this evidence stacked up against you.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we as men don't think like that because we just don't think like that.
Mhm.
And that's why I think they outlive us because we don't think like that. Like anything you walk into, like far as a marriage or relationship, anything, it's almost like paying attention to the details. So I tell a lot of females that like I pay attention to the details because even in the average everyday relationship, you might last with that woman a year and a half. Now you're in the 2 years, and now you're in the 2.5 years. And she revert back to something that you took her to experience in the first 3-4 months of
Mhm.
dating because she done
Yeah.
kept a mental note
Wow.
or wrote it somewhere. But we won't do that. We half of the time
Yeah.
forget.
So, how do you feel about prenups?
A prenup, that's kind of like a tricky because me honestly, I just feel like if you do get a prenup, then how much do you really trust your partner? Like for the longevity of it. Like, do you feel like shit? I don't know. You might fuck up the keys to the kingdom, and
Yeah.
I need to go on with what I done made. But on the same note, it's almost looking at it like, well, I done worked this hard to get to this point, and I love you, and I'm bringing you into what I'm doing, but okay, here's the perfect answer to that question because it's a lot of people that'll probably be like, dang, that's how you feel. I feel like this. Get a prenup in the beginning, right? See where she at with it. If she working hard towards something and you working hard towards something, then you can always go back and change that to where it's like, okay, yeah, now we need to combine that. But even the trick with that is it'll look kind of shady, especially in a female's mind, how they think is like, oh, you see my longevity, I'm probably gonna make more than you in the long run. So
Mhm.
now you want to share everything, but you didn't want to share it when you thought you had the ups. So it's a touchy subject. Like
Yeah.
I would probably get a prenup in a marriage, like because at the end of the day, I don't want my problems being your problems, and I damn sure don't want your problems being mine. Even though with a marriage, that's what's gonna happen. Like you combining all of the drama. Like if she done burnt up houses in the past and she got all this debt, y'all both got it now. So I think, but when he said that about the paperwork, it made me really start thinking about it. And I started looking at overall things of like people that's done been divorced. So when you talk to them, or like if I be doing Lyft and I'm talking to a lady and she's like, oh yeah, my first marriage, it's like, okay. And they be the main ones saying like dating sucks. So it's like, are they on the decline from that first marriage? Like, okay, headed into marriage number 2. So who's the damaged goods? That's the whole thing. Like, it's so many damaged people walking around out here that's trying to date that it utterly makes no sense. Like it is, and a lot of them same damaged people are rushing to the altar. So I can understand why the percentages go up for divorce
Yeah.
once you after that first marriage. Because I'm a stickler, and when I do it, I'm only gonna do it one time because I'm not gonna take no iffy person to the altar. I'm not gonna take a person where I have to doubt to the altar. Like it's crazy because the percentages. Now, here's a touchy subject. What's the percentages of gay marriages and divorce?
Let's see.
Yeah, I now I'm curious. We could
Do you think it's higher or lower?
I'm betting lower. I'm betting lower.
Yeah, you're right. Right here. It says
See?
the same-sex marriage divorce rate is about 50% lower on any given year when directly compared to the heterosexual divorce rate.
See?
And there's more gay marriages with women than there are with men. That's
Exactly.
interesting.
So,
Double.
well, damn it, fellas. Maybe it's us that can't get it right. Like, I hate to be the one to add to the narrative like that men ain't shit, but damn. Numbers don't lie. Like, oh, that's wild. It's crazy because I figured same-sex marriage would have a lower divorce rate because they get together and be happy as hell. Like somebody said something on. I seen somebody said something.
Yeah, that's Ozymandias. He said, "We want prenup. We want prenup."
Hey,
And he also said he's betting it's about the same, and he's surprised that it's lower.
and see, look, check it out. The LGBTQ community might be on to something. I feel like they're not taking it to the altar unless they are assured and know that this is who they want to spend the rest of their life with. Like, you think about it. Coming out the closet in itself is a tough decision to make. So you have to really be a brave and bold person to let everybody know that that's your preference.
Mm-hmm.
So I can only imagine the boldness of that. We ain't getting married. Like,
Yeah.
so the fact that it is lower, it don't surprise me.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me. Now, the thing of it is, well, you said it's more women married than
It
men.
said 2/3 of same-sex marriages are women. So that's twice as many
And
women
see-
as men.
And see, women loving each other. Like they sticking it out. So it kind of adds up. Like now I'm curious to know what's the percentages in filings? Like who filed for divorce more, men or women in heterosexual marriage? Like, since we on the subject, just tickle my fancy. I want to know, is it us that be like, I can't take this shit, or is it the woman like, I'm sick of the way you treat me? Like, who is it?
Here we go. Check this out.
Dang.
Women are much more likely than men to file for divorce.
So see, ladies, see, y'all give up on us too quick. That's the problem. Y'all be quick to give up on the man in a heartbeat. We be trying to stick it out. That's deep. But hold on, I'm not just gonna shame the ladies. I'm not just gonna shame the ladies. We do have to ask what made that woman want to file for divorce. Or, yeah, why do women file for divorce?
More than men.
Yeah.
Okay, this is from divorcemag.com, so it's probably an opinion piece, but we'll see.
Right.
Number 1, most women no longer dream of being housewives. They want satisfying careers and marriages. So I guess
the feminist movement.
yeah, they feel oppressed in some way because they're married.
Oh, shoot.
Okay. Women look forward to true equality of the sexes. Men look backward to the golden age of marriage.
Oh, shit. Well, I guess I'm a cross-gen person then. I guess I'm cross-generated because I don't look to the golden age. Help me, damn it. Help me. We can do this shit together. That's my whole.
Women are less willing to accept unhappy relationships than men.
You know what?
That's probably true.
That's deep because the girls at my job, and we was talking about it earlier, and I said, "Oh no, I'm not one time and I'm done." They was like, "So you would just stay in an unhappy relationship?" And that adds up to
Yep.
what they said. Like, I probably would be like, damn it, like mad
Yeah.
as hell. So now that explains why most men be driving slow as hell on 35. Don't want to get home, stopping
Yep.
off at happy hour. That's crazy.
All right, number 4. Men often believe they have more to lose in a divorce than women.
That's true. It is true. Like, I have not seen no man walking away with half a woman shit unless that woman was a celebrity and changed his lifestyle. Damn, women are quicker to consult a lawyer than men.
Yeah.
Oh, that adds up. That adds up. It's either the police or a lawyer. Dang.
And finally, women are much more aware of the emotional health of their marriages than men.
Here we go. Now they just bash.
I don't know. Yeah, this article was written by a woman, I would expect.
Yeah, I'm taking it as written by a woman.
It says many men hold the misconception that they will do poorly in court. The cards are stacked against them in terms of finances and child custody.
That's true.
I think that's true, not a misconception.
No,
Definitely. Well, I think some of the points on that list were actually pretty solid.
Yeah, well, they said the stereotypes of men as breadwinners and women as caregivers has changed, but men still believe that they have more to lose than women in a divorce. That's true. That's true. Like, seriously, like, you think about it. If you a man and you in that household, like me, I would want to wake up to my family every day.
Mm-hmm.
A woman would be more prone to wake up like, you know what, your daddy wasn't shit. He left us and this and that, and embed that in the kids. To whereas even in a divorce, a man be thinking like, dang, I'm not gonna get to see my kids. Now they're no longer just my kids. Now they like pawns because I know she gonna know.
Yep.
She can use that to hurt me. Then you gotta think, I like the house that we have built from the ground up. I might be the one to have to move. How much of my good stuff she gonna get to keep? Like, it's deep. And I think as women don't have a second thought about what they stand to lose if they get a divorce.
Yeah, they probably oftentimes think about what they stand to gain.
Exactly. And that's what I'm thinking. A woman, it's so easy. Like, I've heard women say, well, y'all could just go around planting seeds everywhere. So y'all don't know what it's like when y'all biological clock ticking because y'all's don't. And it's like a lot more. We have a lot more obstacles to worry about as
Yeah.
opposed to.
And very few men are going around spreading their seed to like a bunch of women, like
Nah,
having a ton of kids with
I
different
don't
women.
think so. I wouldn't think that because, I mean, I, for one, as single as I am, it's just like the thought of being that it's not appealing to me. It's just
Yeah.
like too many different personalities. And not to mention 1,000 different baby mamas. Can you imagine that?
Oh my god.
Can you imagine having like 6 kids and you got 4 different baby mamas or 3 different baby mamas and you got to deal with all of them angered at you if you're not with none of them? I don't think so. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think so. It might be different. Now, of course, we got to get to the controversial side of the whole marriage thing. Which ethnic group is more likely to divorce?
Let's see.
I'm taking all bets. Which ethnic group you think it is? Native Americans?
I was gonna say black people are more likely, but
the
yeah,
Indians.
it's
Wait.
Native Americans have the highest divorce rate, 45% for men, followed by African Americans, 42%, Caucasians, 38%, Hispanic, 30%, and Asian, 18%.
Oh, what? See, you know what? Shout out. That means shouts out to my man Jay. Congratulations again to my man Jay. He's smart. See what I'm saying? My man Jared's smart than a mug. The stats don't lie. Like, So for all you sisters that always be talking about when we start making money, we always want to cross over to the other side and talk to a Caucasian woman. Look at it. You look at it for them brothers that be thinking about that. Like, it's y'all that be quicker to divorce us. So it's not that we want to cross over. I'll tell you something that a cousin of mine that stayed down here explained to me one day, and it made all the sense in the world. Like, when it be coming to all the interracial stuff, not to stray too far off topic, but when it comes to interracial stuff, you can only like who like you.
Yep.
It's not like a lot of us as black men just immediately go for other ethnic groups. But if we steady going for our sisters and they steady shooting us down, and then you meet the Latina or the Chicana female, or you meet the white woman, or you meet the Asian female, and she coming and bringing you peace, what do y'all expect? So once again, I gotta say it live on air. I don't know if they catching this episode because they on like a vacation. And congrats to my man Jay again. You picked right, bro, because they got the lowest divorce rate out of everything. And this not to classify. No, I'm not. This is not racist statements or anything. This is all facts, numbers. Asians are more likely to stay married than any other ethnic group. So my man Jared, way to go. Shouts to you. I'm saluting you on air. Like, and it's crazy because I used to think I was like, I would date a Native American and try to get with her, but she'd leave me. Like, nah. Since we on all these different subjects, how much about interracial divorce?
Interracial divorce. Interesting. Let's check.
Yeah, interracial divorce. Let's see. How do they stack up?
Okay. Okay. Let's take a look.
Wow.
Okay, so
Number one is us.
black.
It's us.
Black husband, white wife is
Second.
damn near the same. Black and white is lower, but and what is this number? Is it per 1,000? For relative divorce rate by pairing. Okay. White husband, black wife, number 4.
Okay.
Hispanic husband, white wife.
Is number 5. Hispanic wife, white husband is number 6. Other mixed race cousins, couples. What kind of stuff is that? White husband, Hispanic wife,
white, Hispanic, Asian husband, white wife. Is there Asian husband, Asian wife, black husband? No.
Asian husband, white wife, white husband, and Asian wife. And Asian
So
is the lowest
yeah,
one.
no surprise that Asian makes up the bottom 4.
Exactly. That's deep. So there's nothing about blacks and Asians. God doggone it, I'm going to China.
But you can assume that
They don't fall nowhere in there. I didn't see none of that.
you can assume that since Asians are the bottom 4, that black and Asian is probably also pretty low.
Pretty low. So you know what that's telling us, fellas? If you go and cross over, which they think we do anyway once we become successful, go to China, Japan, the Philippines, one of the 3, and you'll end up in a happy marriage. At least you're less likely to get divorced if you go that route. Like,
Yeah, happy marriage and not being divorced isn't one and the same, but I know what you mean.
it's not one. It's not one and the same. But you might end up with a happier marriage. Get you an Asian woman. Shouts out to all my Asian women since we on this. Shouts out to all of the Asian women that I know. Like, but in all honesty, it's all just jokes. Even looking at the statistics, we all just having fun. But the truth of the matter is, if you love somebody, you should be able to stick it out. That's just the truth. Now, somebody just dropped a long paragraph.
That was Ozymandias about gay marriage earlier. He
They
said,
understand the financial structuring of marriage better than heterosexual couples. Yeah, it's a rites of passage. For the gay community, it's more of a financial security. That's true. That's true. That's very true. Like for us, it's almost like we raised and bred that getting married means you've successfully grown relationship wise.
Mm-hmm.
And now when you think about it, it's almost like that's part of the programming as well.
Yeah.
Like, because we are taught growing up that if you don't marry the woman, y'all living in sin. But how is that? Like, what makes it so sacred? Because you say I do in front of the eyes of God, but when you ask a girl to be your woman, ain't God everywhere? So you doing that in front of the eyes of God.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the difference other than this paperwork that allows the courts to control your relationship now? So my man made a valid point. A lot of people might not look at it from that angle because people say you taking her before the eyes of God. So how many contradictions is that if when you say, hey, I dig you, we've been rocking for months, I want you to be my lady. Ain't that in front of the eyes of God?
Yeah.
It's almost the same thing, other than the fact that you spending money on this jewelry, you spending money for this piece of paper that's the marriage license,
Mm-hmm.
and you spending a buttload of money to put on a public display to show everybody, oh, I love her this much. It's crazy. That's crazy.
How expensive do you think it is to get married? Like excluding the actual ceremony and all that.
I would think 10,000 as starters, and that would be a cheap wedding.
No, like for just like the marriage certificate.
Oh, the marriage certificate maybe like couple $100.
Yeah. Because I know people like go to Vegas and get married like at
Yeah.
some random chapel, like on a whim,
Yeah.
and it can't be 10. Like it's probably a couple $100, I'd say.
Yeah, but I think honestly the marriage certificate in itself might be under $100.
Yeah,
I would think.
yeah.
And-
It's most of the money goes into the wedding.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy? Call me, I don't care. Call me corny, but it's always been like a little hidden in the back of my mind, a little hidden fantasy of mine to get married in Vegas and have like one of them crazy ass theme weddings.
Yeah.
Like maybe I would probably have a marble wedding. Like I would, I would want to be, I would want to be like Black Panther or something, like King T'Challa, and the woman be like Supergirl. Since I've been watching all these shows, that would be dope to me. Like I would want a theme type wedding. But after hearing my man speak and looking at the statistics, oh yeah,
Oh,
we're
we're getting
gonna
a call.
answer that. Yeah, we gonna answer that. Hey, what's going on, Aunt?
Hey, you man, I'm listening to your podcast, man. Are you on live or
No,
you taking a break?
you on live? We on live. So
Oh, okay. Well, listen, there's one thing I just got to say, man. Women be thinking that men are dogs, and that's the general consensus of men, right?
right.
Because women are so good at being players. We think we're the players, but they're the real players. They are good at everything that they accuse men of, cheating, all that. They're good. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to let you go on back to the podcast, and I'm going to listen, man. I just want to put that in there.
Hey, you know what, Aunt? Hold up before you get out of here.
Okay.
The truth of that is, you hit the nail on the head, because I have listened to so many women. Like, for example, the other night I was doing Lyft. I picked up a young lady, and I watched her have 3 different phone calls, and she lied to all 3 people. And I knew, and I could tell each person she was talking to. She talked to her mom, she talked to her boyfriend, and she talked to maybe one of her girlfriends, and she lied to all 3 of them. Basically,
Yeah.
I picked her up. It was an older gentleman. She walked out, they smooched, hugged, did all that stuff, and she came, got in the car, very first phone call was to her mom, and she was like, "Oh, I had just been studying all day, and this and that,
Wow.
this and that." And I'm listening like, what? And I wanted to ask her so bad after she got off the phone calls. I wanted to ask her. I wanted to be like, man, and they all bought that. Like, so who was blood? Was he like your sugar daddy or something? Like, cause she's telling her boyfriend, "Oh, and I miss you too." And it's just, I've been so stressed out with schoolwork and studying. And I'm like, you wasn't stressed out when I just picked you up for Uncle Jim's house. Like you is,
if if you think about this, nephew, civilizations have fallen. I mean, kingdoms have been overcome, man. I mean, just check the history. Don't take my word for it. Just check the history out, because women, they are good. Cleopatra was dangerous. And she wasn't that fine, man. If you read your history, her sister was. Took the sister out and the brother. Women
yeah.
are good at what they do. I just,
Yeah,
I'm
a
old enough
woman to
to
have you
just
so
admit it.
a woman to have you so mystify your ass all the way until you say I do, and in her mind she be knowing I don't, and will take you for
But you
everything you
will.
work.
That's the other part of that. I don't, but you will.
Exactly, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
bro. I've seen some mystified folks, man. I lost a couple of partners, man, because they were trying to supply their woman, their wife, every need, and wound up robbing the guy and got shot with his own gun. That's how deep that was.
Wow, and see, it's so crazy because when we was looking at the statistics, I was shocked because I had all bets that it was gonna be us that divorced more, and to find out it's the Native Americans, like that's deep. That's deep.
Yeah.
So if you smart as a black man or a white man in America, get you an Asian woman because they less likely to leave you. That's deep.
Right.
That's deep. But
Yep.
even some of them, I mean, all women know how to turn it on and had a gift of gab and had you believing that the world would be yours and know how to
Brother
ease.
will have you in the bank. Tell them, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I love her. Put the money in the bag.
Exactly.
I've seen it happen, man. I'm not just trying to be. I mean, now keep in mind, it's everybody, especially women, to have that fairy tale dream where you live happily ever after. You can do that, but it takes work on both sides.
Yeah.
Can't be one person doing the other one while the other one's just sitting up front and talking stuff and think they got it made. It takes hard work. You can have that, but for what I know, for as long as I've been here, they are masters at that shit. There, go to court with them. You talking about paying alimony and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Go there and drop. He's taking such good care of me. I don't know what to do. A couple of tears, like 2 or 3. The case is over.
See,
The case is over. The case is over.
See, and it's ironic that you called in because I always quote so many quotes, and I say, I got my uncle used to say, well, for everybody watching, this the uncle that has given me so much wisdom that helped make me the man that I am. So to hear it from him, it's true. And I would indulge, but the fact that my show is on such a public arena, I'm not gonna go there. But I know what you stating is actual facts. So I know.
I'm living it now. I done lived it. I'm not taking nothing away from the female race. We wouldn't even be here without it. That's the thing. But somehow, they go through a lot. I give them props. The women's suffrage is still going on and all that stuff. But when it comes to one-on-one, the game has to stop. If you talking about for the rest of my life, then but most of them, especially today's couple, they in 1 minute, out the next, man.
Exactly. And you know what? I've experienced it where a woman be laying right next to me and you think she talking to her girlfriend and she be making plans with old boy who gonna take her out the next day and you don't find out until you at home feeling bad like, well, what did I do to her? You be in your mind thinking about something, trying to make it up to her, and she out having the time of her life with the new dude who ultimately ends up being your replacement in the long run.
But see, it works like this. If you're somebody that going to a situation like that, then you got to always keep in mind she did it to her husband. She'll do it to
Exactly.
me. And
Exactly.
we have a living example. Demi Moore married a young guy. Austin, Bruce Willis is crazy about it, right?
Right?
Married a young guy. He poured it. Then the young guy turned around and did what she did to her husband to her.
Exactly. Exactly.
You
And
know, it's that
karma.
trickery. If you want to let that lie, well, then it's out there for you, man, for real. But that's the thing. The happily ever after marriage, man, it takes work. It can happen, but it takes work on both sides.
And a lot of
You know,
times, like in this generation, a lot of people don't want to work for that. A lot of people want to walk into already pre-made situations where it's just like they want to walk into a success story, and that's not how the real world works. Like
it doesn't work that way.
it's
You
like we
might
didn't
get lucky every now and then. Somebody might get lucky and blow it if they ain't used to it. Cause everybody that be asking for this big stuff, what you gonna do when you get it? You're asking for success. What you gonna do when you get it? You got to be prepared. So when that blessing comes, if it comes like that for you or through hard work and all that, which is another blessing, you know, you got to be prepared. We want all this stuff. We want big cars and all that stuff, big money, and don't know how to handle that, man. And folks be going to their death, man, on some tragic duty.
exactly, exactly. All like I said, I keep saying it. Look, I'm only gonna do it one time, and that's why I've become very selective of who I'm a date, who I'm gonna interact with, because when you come from a good upbringing, it's like that's a thing of the past nowadays. So
For real.
everything
For
that was
real.
once tradition is like corny nowadays to these people.
Man, family structure is just it's off the charts. It's done. There's a few of us that still fight that want to take in. Okay, we can get all the meals, so let's do Sundays.
Exactly.
There's some Sundays coming. They go. The family structure is messed up, man. Teaching a lot of young people, man, work ethics and stuff. I remember one Christmas, man. I was suspecting. Okay, I'm 14. I'm getting ready to turn 14. I'm 13, so I'll probably get a game or something. I came downstairs, man, under the Christmas tree. It was like work books, boots, and work clothes and stuff. I'm like, Ma, ain't this for somebody else? She say, no, because in the summer, you'll be 14, you get a job. And I had a job.
Hey, that's how,
It
and
was,
that's
it was
and,
just how that went, man.
and see things.
I was working.
It's like things like that is so null and void and gone now. Like I
Yeah.
I used to recall we could be walking through the projects and we could be cussing up a storm
Yep.
until we seen somebody's mama. Didn't know who she was, but didn't have to know who she was. It was just like, shut up.
She was the elder. She was the eldest. And you came on the last part of the good old part that we thought was, my generation thought was hard, but it was like the last of the good old stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you could have a fight. You could have a fight and wouldn't nobody die.
No.
Wasn't no shoot-ups or drive-bys. If you doing that gangster role, you might get knifed up, but they weren't trying to kill you.
Exactly. You know what? I was like, the most tragic stuff we used to hear as kids growing up was like, dang, such and such got stabbed over there. And we thought that was something. Now it's like, it's like they done killed him, his sister, the dog. Like, dang, man. Like,
Next door neighbor.
exactly.
The girl he took to the prom, they killing everybody.
Exactly. And
It-
the thing of it is like when my man said that in Dallas about marriage, I instantly started thinking like, dang, I never looked at it from that perspective. I never looked at it.
Mhm.
You could have the perfect relationship. Y'all love the heck out of each other until y'all get in front of that preacher and say, I do. Then it seemed like it's a leverage thing. It's like instantly the woman felt like, oh, I got your ass. Nah, you bet not
and
slip
that
up.
really, brother, that really happens, man. as your Uncle Carl told me, he said, right around the time I was going to get married, he's like, why you saying I do? They're saying to themselves, well, you will. I ain't doing shit, but you will.
And that's
And if you in it trying to be real with it, bro, I can see how some men go bald. As a matter of fact, I'm one of them.
the fact.
You remember I had hair and shit, man. I was stylish with it and shit. It feels good in the summer. In the winter, man, I suffer.
Hey, but we was all brought up to do it the right way. Like
Exactly.
I keep saying it. Like I'm only gonna do it one time, and maybe it might take me till I'm 60 to meet that one, but I'm only gonna do it one time. Like I've had, like I was telling Chuck, I've had females say it's a red flag that I've never been married, but we pulled up the statistics that once you on your second and third marriage, you more likely to divorce than it was the first time around. So I would think it would be more of a red flag had I said, "Oh yeah, I'm working on my fifth, sixth marriage. I'm gonna get it right eventually." Like,
don't let that shit take you out. Excuse me, I'm sorry, man. You're on your podcast. I apologize, but don't let that take you out, man. Take your time, man. See,
yeah,
when you say I love somebody, that's like deep and personal, almost spiritual, man. It's like if you really mean that. But love is so insecure, man. You got to be happy and in love with yourself first, not narcissistic or anything like that. But just, you got to have a love for doing better for yourself first before you can do that for anybody else.
exactly,
Because
exactly.
that's, when you talking about love, you talking about giving your all and shit.
Now,
Ready
and
to
since
give the
you know
kindness
what,
and shit.
it's so I'm like it's almost like every time I get you on the other end of the phone, I become like that little nephew again, and I'm humbled like a mug. So I really, the fact that I got you on air, and it's like I brag and I talk about you to so many people. Like I talk about the things you
Wow.
done instilled and told me. Like I even tell him about how on Father's Day, I remember my first year here on Father's Day, I called you and I couldn't get a word out. I couldn't even speak. I think you just heard me sobbing on the other end of the phone and knew
I think I did.
I
I think
couldn't
I remember that
I
first
couldn't get
one,
a
man.
word
Yep.
out because of the influence you had on me. The things that I look at now that I'm older, like, man, you
Well, what
prepared
you
me
got
for
to
it.
what you got to do, you got to pass on what you got and what you gonna learn to any young ear that's listening. You know,
Yeah.
somebody got to pass it on because our front line, man, after your generation, it's not looking very good. Hot
And
heads, but not all of them.
yeah, not
But it's a
all of
lot
them.
of them just, if you're over 30 and stuff, it's like they really ain't trying to hear what you got to say. You know, when you get in your 50s and 60s, they're like, oh, no, this guy's my grandfather. I don't pay him no attention. I don't even know him. Why am I paying for him?
Exactly.
Somebody got to pass it along,
So if you
because the world is being shook up from the foundation right now, man. And we
see,
just think that it's just crazy people in there. This was predicted that all this stuff was going to happen. And we ain't even seen the worst of it yet,
exactly.
So,
Now, what
so
would, like, you used to always give me jewels, and you used to always have me thinking on stuff. And now that I'm older, all of the stuff that I thought was like Blues Clues is like, dang, he was giving me real life lessons. Like, I give the
well,
people every week before I get off the air, I give the people a jewel. But this week, I'm so honored that you're on my show with me. Even though it's via phone, I want you to give the people a jewel. Like, what kind
man,
of,
look at all the stuff that is being shook up right now. Now, pay close attention to the stuff that ain't being shaken up. You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
Because the stuff that's being shook up, people ain't going to take heed to that. Like, look, we need to change this. We need to get closer to God. For those of us that believe there's a God or whatever you believe, we need to get closer to that. And we can make the change. We can be that change, man. But they know that people ain't going to listen. So look at the stuff that ain't being shook up,
Right.
and invest in that type of future. It might be with you.
Exactly.
So listen, let me get off this phone, man. Love your nephew always, man. You know, and I'm so proud of you, man, that you're doing what you're doing, man. I hope I didn't mess up with none of your viewers or listeners, man. But I just had to holler in on the marriage thing.
Oh yeah, and you know what? I don't think you didn't mess up nothing. Like this was honestly an honor. I got the man behind the man on
I'm
my show.
honored that you're honored, man. That's how they go, man.
Uh,
You know,
uh, uh, uh,
listen, you doing what you're doing. I call the first radio show I done called into, God, since I was a teenager, probably like 200 years ago,
it's
man.
crazy, and it's crazy that how I'm feeling. It's like my uncle dad on the other end of the phone. Like you've done so much. I always I tried to keep an even keel on
You're
my
my
show.
nephew's son, man.
But
That's
this
how it
one,
roll, man.
this one got me emotional. Like just because to hear your voice on the other end of the phone and just know like the different things that you done said and the different things that you done prepared me for, just with the talks and just with the because I tell people like I wasn't always reserved. I wasn't always a little bit more open minded like I am now. Like I was something else. I said I was
Yeah,
something
yeah,
else.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you was the guy that dealt with that. And
Well, well, thank God for that, man, because, you know, hey, you're my nephew, man. You're my blood, man. You know, this what when I grew up, this is what family did. We supported each other. We might argue, we might fight a little bit, not trying to kill each other, but you know, men always tussle and stuff. Uh, uh, but we was always family, man. So
yeah, and that's
that's what
where
I'm supposed to do. They're
people
supposed
don't
to
get
pass
at.
it on along.
People don't get
Yeah.
that that's where I get it from. That's why I'm so family oriented. Like the structure and the things that I've seen, like it's just the spirit that I felt in my family structure and the fact of you being who you are. Like it's almost like when people ask me about me and my background, I can't cry over spilled milk with the mom situation or me being the only child situation because I never felt like that. I always felt like I had a little brother and sisters because of Young Nard and
Yeah,
Rayada and T
yeah.
Dot and how y'all brought us up. So it's like even like
Y'all like cousins, brothers, and sisters.
yeah,
That's
it's
what
like
that. When I grew up, I saw my cousins every day. When like we see them every holiday or every now and then. I went to school with them. As a matter of fact, they were my first best friends outside of my siblings. Man, you know, that's
exactly.
how family was. You know, we had each other's back. Nobody messed with us. We didn't mess with a lot of people except I had well, you know, your cousin, your uncle, some of them was gangsters.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing
You
of
know,
the thing of it is like when people be asking me like, yeah, you this way and you that way, for all y'all listening, this is part of who I got it from. Between you, my
wow,
dad, my granddaddy, and both my grandmas,
your
I
uncles.
yeah, and it's like I would love to get Uncle Issa on here, but he's so exclusive. Like I gotta call
Yeah,
his people
yeah.
and get with his people and all of that. So
Yeah, yeah. But while you was at the homestead growing up, man, he had a lot of influence, man.
exactly,
Yeah, yeah. You know,
exactly.
I can go down memory lane.
And
You
now
were just so
you
smooth
looking
and
at the
so
show,
fast
right?
with your stuff. Huh?
You looking at the show, you seeing me, right?
No, no, no. I had to call on my phone. Boo Boo got on his phone. He done walked away, man. He stepped in been on the phone too long, I guess.
Yeah, because I'm about to show something that's like a good alternative for coffee. It's called Home. It's like a green
Okay.
tea powder. It gives you good clean energy. It detoxes you.
Hey,
It
turn Whipple back on. He's showing. Oh,
it gives you good
later.
energy.
You.
Yeah, it gives you some good energy. It's like instead of a cup of coffee, drink a cup of this Home.
Yeah, yeah. Boo been listening all the time,
This
man.
Home
I mean,
is
excuse
it's like an
you.
energy drink.
Right.
It's
Okay,
like
and it's called what?
it's called Home.
Home.
Hone, Hone. We got it pulled up on the screen.
Okay, Hone.
It's
Okay.
good, clean.
Oh,
It's good,
Hone.
clean.
Okay, okay.
It's a good, clean tea. It detox your body. It gives you energy, and it don't have those dragging effects. It don't give you that crash like coffee does. It don't. Now, to me, with me, coffee give me the shits. So it don't.
Bro, try some espresso.
It don't do.
Try some espresso, bro.
Oh nah, I don't need a laxative, but the home drink is a good alternative for coffee. Y'all should try that.
Okay, now I don't want to drink nothing. You hear me run up and down the freeway like my man Chris Tucker was doing on Friday.
Oh nah, it ain't gonna have you like that. It's
Okay,
good clean. It's good clean,
Okay.
and you check
Okay.
it out. But yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I appreciate you calling in and being on the show with
Man,
me
listen,
today.
thank you, man. I'm glad that you even let my call come through, man. I don't know how it works nowadays, I'm just
Nah.
trying to just stay touched up, but I do be checking in from time to time, man, and you just happen to touch the subject, man. I would probably go home and have a knife fight if she was listening.
And see, and that's why I tap danced around it because I didn't want.
Yeah.
I don't want to be
Yeah.
the cause of no family violence.
Stay
So
tuned to CNN. I'm not a violent person. I will defend myself, but it might turn out that way, man. So anyway, man, listen, keep up the good work, man. I will talk with you later, nephew.
all right, love you, Unc. Thanks for
Love
calling
you
in.
too, man. Oh, man, thanks for having me.
All right, now.
What a great guy.
Hey, and it's crazy because I tap danced around it. He knows personally. He knows personally a lot of the stuff we was talking about,
Yep.
and a lot of the jewels I got from him. That's the person that give it to me. But like this week, I got to re-implement that. Now that was fucking weird, Chuck. Like, listen. So this past weekend, I'm doing Lyft, right? Literally, I pull up. I'm on Rainy. I pull up. Guy walks up, gets in my car. I say, "Are you such and such?" "Oh, yeah. And I said, "Okay." I get to navigating where we going. Dude, instantly, done. Passes out. I'm halfway up 35, about to go under MLK to where it's split.
Mm-hmm.
Phone start ringing. I answer the phone like, "Hello." The guy's like, "Hey, where are you?" And I'm like,
Oh my God.
I'm like, "What you mean, where am I? I got you in the car." He's like, "No, you don't." I said, "Oh shit, I'm spinning back around. Here I come." I come up on the Manor exit. Literally, I'm looping around, dude. I get to the light. I say, "Hey, excuse me, you got in the wrong lift." I promise you, out of a stone cold sleep, I'm slowly pulling off. Dude gets up, open the door, and just steps out of my moving
Oh my
car. I'm like,
God.
"Oh shit!" Now I done stopped. The state trooper done stopped, and he like, "What the hell?" Me and both. I'm like, "Hey." He looking at the dude. He like, "You all right?" The guy like, "Yeah, I'm in the wrong lift." And "Who are you?" And just like staggered off. Like, dude.
Oh my God.
I dang near couldn't go pick up the other passenger because I'm shook up like a dude just walked out of my moving car. Like, what the hell was that
Man.
about? Like, now that was fucking weird. I know his name, but I refuse to say it for suit
Damn.
purposes.
Well, we're coming up on 60 minutes. I think there's one more thing we got to do. We got to shout out the sponsor that's right behind you.
Right on. Like, look, if you're in Austin and you want to go and have a good time, have some real laughs, go down to the Sunset Strip Comedy Club.
It's a solid place. Gary and I work with Adam and Anthony personally. They run the comedy there.
Okay.
Great guys. They get the big hitters to perform there. Their shows are always packed and have a great energy to them. The venue itself is great. There's a bar in there.
As a matter of fact, ain't we going sometime tonight, ain't we?
Yeah, we sure are.
Oh, right on. Yeah. So I got to wrap this up so I can get home, get dialed up, and go down to the Sunset Strip to catch me some good comedy tonight. And this been another episode of the Jackson Report. I thank y'all for tuning in. I'm so humbled I got to talk to the great one. See y'all next week. Good night, people. Life's a game, but I figured it out. Sitting on the steps at Granny House. This world is strange, but I pictured my route. Sitting on the steps at Granny House. Life's a game, but I figured it out.